Hello students, this is Purvi here. Today we are going to talk about the third chapter from Business Studies Part 1, that is Business Environment. Concept of Business Environment. The term business environment means the sum total of all individuals, institutions and other forces that are outside the control of a business enterprise but that may affect its performance. It consists of social, political, economical, legal and technological factors such as change in taxation, fashion, taste of consumers, increased competition, etc., which affect the working of a business significantly. Now let us talk about nature or features of business environment. The main features of business environment are totality of external forces, specific and general forces, interrelatedness, dynamic nature, uncertainty, complexity, and relativity. Let us discuss each one of these in detail. Totality of external forces. Business environment is aggregative in nature because it is the sum total of all the things external to business enterprise comprising of social, political, economic, legal and technological factors. Specific and general forces. Business environment includes both specific and general forces. General forces are economic, social, political, legal and technological conditions which affect all the enterprises indirectly, while specific forces are investors, customers, competitors and suppliers that affect individual enterprises directly. Inter-relatedness. Now different elements of business environment are closely interrelated. That is, increased awareness of healthcare have increased the demand of many healthcare products like sugar-free, diet coke, cholesterol-free oil, etc. Similarly, an increase in the income of consumer, that is economic environment, will help in improving his living standard, that is social environment. Dynamic nature. Business environment is dynamic in nature as it keeps on changing, whether in terms of upgradation of technologies, shifts in consumer preference, change in government policy or changes in trends and traditions. Uncertainty. Business environment is largely uncertain because it is very difficult to predict future events such as technological changes, change in government policies, etc., especially when changes are taking place at a fast pace. Complexity. Business environment is complex as it consists of numerous interrelated factors affecting business enterprise at the same time. It is easier to understand the components in parts but difficult to grasp in totality. Relativity. Business environment is a relative concept as it differs from country to country and region to region. Example, demand for saris is quite high in India, but in foreign countries it has no existence. Similarly, regulations, government policies, consumer preferences, etc. all differ from one region to another. Now let us discuss about importance or benefits of business environment. A good understanding of environment not only helps the manager to deal with uncertain situations but also helps enterprises to identify and benefit from opportunities that the environment offers. The given points highlights the importance of business environment. The first is it enables the firm to identify opportunities and get the first mover advantage. Now, opportunities are the positive trends that help firms to grow. A good knowledge of business environment helps a manager to identify such opportunities earlier to take its benefit rather than losing it to other competing enterprises. For example, Maruti Udyog was the first automobile company in India to recognize the opportunity to develop small cars, due to which it is still one of the market leaders in that segment. The second benefit of business environment is it helps the firm to identify threats and early warning signals. Now, threats refer to the negative trends which will hinder the performance of the enterprise. The businessmen who are able to scan and understand the business environment on time get a warning signal to deal with such negative changes. The third benefit is that it helps in tapping useful resources. Now, environment is a source of various resources for business like finance, machineries, raw materials, etc. Contrary to this, business enterprise supplies goods and services to the society in the form of taxes, products, return on investment, etc. A good understanding of environment helps the firm to convert such resources into output required by the environment and society. The fourth advantage is it helps in coping with rapid changes. We know that business environment is fast changing due to the turbulent market conditions, more demanding customers, changing technology, and increasing global competition. In order to cope up with such changes and derive benefit from them, managers must examine their environment and develop suitable actions. The fifth advantage is that it assists in planning and helps in policy formulation. Since business environment is a source of identifying both opportunities and threats, its proper analysis and understanding provides the base for planning and guides in framing policies. The last advantage of business environment is that it helps in improving performance. An enterprise that monitors its environment continuously is in a position to improve not only its present performance but also improve its future performance. This ensures success of business in the long run. Dimensions of business environment. Business environment consists of factors that influences many enterprises at the same time. These are called dimensions of business enterprise. These factors are categorized as social, economic, political, legal, and technological environment, which are considered relevant for decision making and improving performance of an enterprise. Let us talk a little about economic environment. The economic environment consists of the factors and forces concerning with means of production and distribution of wealth. It comprises of interest rate, rate of inflation, value of GDP, per capita income, tax rates, disposable income, etc. Components of economic environment. Now, the structure of economy comprises of rate of growth of GNP, per capita income, rates of savings and investments, balance of payments, value of exports and imports, agricultural and industrial production, money and supply in the economy, and public debt. Significant effect of economic environment on business and firms. The economic elements affect the business firms. With an increase in the rates of taxation, business expenses increases. This causes a rise in the prices of goods, leading to fall in demand of such goods. Again, with an increase in the inflation rates, there is a rise in the cost of production. This affects the profits of the business adversely. Also, a rise in the per capita and disposable income will lead to an increase in the demand for goods and services. Social environment. The social environment consists of all the social and cultural forces within which business firms operate. It comprises of customs and traditions, values, social trends, etc. Components of social environment. Now, the social environment is concerned with the quality of life, life expectancy, expectations from workforce, birth and death rates, population shifts, educational system and literacy rates, consumption habits, composition of family, attitudes towards product, innovations, lifestyles, etc. Significant effect of social environment on business firms. The social elements affect the business firm in three different ways, that is traditions, trends and values. Traditions. It refers to such social practices that are followed since decades. Traditions like celebrations of festivals during greater opportunities to businesses like confectionery sweets, greeting cards, gift galleries, etc. Trends refers to changes and inclination towards new products. Emerging trends of health and physical fitness provide opportunities to businesses like gyms, diet, drinks, mineral water, food supplements, etc. Values refers to concepts that a society holds in high esteem, such as freedom, social justice, equality, etc. Values affect business enterprises by making it more responsible towards society, enforcing non-discriminatory employment practices, and providing freedom of choice to its customers. Technological environment. Technological environment refers to the change taking place in the method of production and use of equipment to improve the quality of product. In other words, we can say that technological environment includes forces relating to scientific improvements and innovations which provide new ways of producing goods and services and methods and techniques of operating a business. Significant effect of technological environment. The technological elements affect business firm. With recent improvements in technology and computerization, marketing and selling of products is now possible online. This has increased the turnover and profits of many business concerns. Similarly, firms engaged in tours and travels and ticket booking are growing because of online system of ticket and hotel booking. Innovation in the area of food preservation has not only provided vast opportunities to firms producing jams, jellies, pickles, ready-to-cook foods, etc., but has also increased the demand and consumption of such products in the society. Political environment. The political environment consists of the forces concerning management of public affairs and their impact on businesses. It includes political conditions in the country and attitude of the government towards business and business policy. Components of political environment. Now, the political environment is the constitution of the country. It also consists of political stability, political ideology, political outlook on business sectors, extent and nature of government intervention in business, degree of politicalization of business and economic issues. Significant effect of political environment. The political elements affect the business firms in the given ways. Political unrest and threat to law and order adversely affect confidence of investors and reduce the level of investment in the economy. Decisions regarding offering subsidy to the producers gives a boost to such industries. Legal environment. The legal environment consists of laws and regulations of the country. These laws have been implemented by the government through Companies Act, Factories Act, Competitions Act, etc. It is necessary for business enterprises to comply with these laws. Significant effect of legal environment. The legal environment affects the business firms in the given two ways. The advertisement of alcoholic beverages is prohibited, which affects the marketing of such products. Products like tobacco and cigarettes are required to carry a statutory warning on their packages, like smoking is injurious to health. Economic environment in India. Economic environment in India consists of a number of macro level factors which have an impact on business and industries. Those macro level factors are stage of economic development of the country, economic structure, that is mixed economic form which allows both public and private participation in production process. Economic policies of the government such as monetary and fiscal policies. Economic planning and 5-year plan. Economic aggregates like gross national product, gross domestic product, per capita income, savings, investments, etc. Infrastructural factors like banking, transport, fuels, communication, energy sources, etc. Let us talk about features of Indian economy at the time of independence. Indian economy was agricultural and rural in nature. About 70% of the working population was employed in agriculture. About 85% of the population lived in villages. Also, production was carried out using irrational and low productivity technology. As well as communicable diseases were widespread and mortality rates were high due to poor public health system. Now let's discuss about the various steps that government took for economic development. The government took several steps to solve economic problems and framed development plans with the given objectives. Those objectives were to initiate rapid growth to raise the standard of living, reduce unemployment and poverty. Was also to become self-reliant and set up a strong industrial base. Also, Their objective was to reduce inequalities, income and wealth, as well as to adopt a socialist pattern of development based on quality. Economic policy before and after 1991. Now, before 1991, in accordance with the objectives of planning, the government emphasized on inward-looking trade policy, where public sector was given the responsibility of development. The government imposed several restrictions, regulations and controls on the private sector enterprises. But in 1991, the economy faced a serious economic crisis in the form of high government deficit, soaring inflation, and serious foreign exchange crisis. This led to a change in the economic policy, thus giving rise to new economic policy that came into existence. Now let us talk about the various broad features of the new economic policy in 1991. The new economic policy implemented in 1991 included number of reforms like liberalization, privatization and globalization. The first letters of these terms make it known as LPG. Now, the government reduced the number of industries under compulsory licensing to 6. De-reservation of a large number of industries under the public sector. Disinvestment of many public sector enterprises. Increase in the share of foreign equity participation in FDI up to 100%. Automatic permission was granted for technology agreements with foreign countries. Also, FIPB, that is Foreign Investment Promoting Board, was set up to promote foreign investment in India. Liberalization. Liberalization means freedom of business and industry from the unnecessary controls and restrictions of the government, particularly licensing and quotas. The liberalization reforms introduced were abolishing licensing in most of the industries, freedom in deciding the scale of business, freedom in deciding prices of goods and services, reduction in tax rates and unnecessary controls, de-reservation of public sector enterprises, simplifying procedures for export and import, automatic permission was granted for technology agreements with foreign companies, removal of restrictions on the movement of goods and services. Privatization. Privatization is a process of reducing the role of public sector in the economic activities of a country. It involves induction of private ownership, private management and control in public sector through disinvestment. Disinvestment refers to the process of sale of public sector enterprises to the private sector or dilution of government ownership beyond 51% in public enterprises. The government further decided to refer the loss-making and sick enterprises to the Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction, that is BIFR. Globalization. Globalization means integrating the economy of a country with the world's economy. It is a process of increasing economic integration and growing economic interdependence between countries in the world economy. Various reforms that were introduced under globalization were abolition of licensing of imports, removal of tariff restrictions and quantitative restrictions, the share of foreign equity participation was increased, and Foreign Investment Promotion Board was set up to promote foreign investment in India. Now let us discuss about the impact of liberalization, privatization and globalization policy changes on business and industry. The LPG policy of the government has made a significant impact on the working of enterprises in business and industry. The given challenges were faced by the business and industries. Those challenges were increasing competition, more demanding customers, rapidly changing technological environment, necessity for change, need for developing human resource, market orientation, and loss of budgetary support to the public sector. Now, increasing competition, it included changes in the rules of industrial licensing and entry of foreign firms has increased the competition for Indian firms, especially in service industries such as banking, communication, health, etc. More demanding customers due to increasing competition, wider choice of products are available in the market. As a result, customers are becoming more choosy. He is now regarded as the king of market. Rapidly changing technological environment refers to the increased competition in market forces the firms to develop new ways to survive and grow in market. Due to this, smaller firms face tough challenges for transformation in process, technology, machines and products. Necessity for change. It means rapid change in the market forces the enterprises to continuously modify their operations. Need for developing human resource. The market conditions require with higher competence and greater commitment. Thus, the need to develop human resource is increasing. Market orientation. Earlier, firms used to produce first and then sell goods in the market. But now, in the fast changing world, production oriented technique has changed to market orientation, where firms study and analyze the first and produce goods accordingly. Loss of budgetary support to the public sector. This refers that the central government's budgetary support for financing the public sector outlays has declined over the years. Public sector undertakings have realized that in order to survive, they will have to develop their own resources and be more efficient. Demonetization. Demonetization is the act of stripping or discontinuing a currency unit of its status as legal. It usually occurs when there is a change in currency by the government. During the implementation of this policy, the currency has lost its legal status and is deposited with banks and replaced with currency that is still valid. A lot of countries have tried demonetization, and while it worked well for some countries, it did not work for the others. For example, Nigeria introduced new currency and banned the old notes in 1984. Because of this, its economy, however, collapsed after this, as it was debt-ridden and high on inflation. Similarly, in Myanmar, military invalidated around 80% value of money to curb black market. Demonetization in India. India faced its first demonetization in the year 1946 and the second one in the year 1978. On both the occasions, the reason was to combat black money that went circulating wide and large. On the 8th November 2016, India witnessed its third phase of demonetization, wherein Prime Minister Narendra Modi banned 500 and 1000 rupee currency notes with immediate effect. With banning of 500 and 1000 rupee currency notes, the country moved one step towards digitalization. In the age where almost every person uses a mobile phone, the concept of online wallets came out to be very successful. Online wallet refers to an electronic device that allows an individual to make electronic transactions. The announcement of demonetization of the currency also caused huge inconvenience to the people. Cash crunch became a major problem due to the unavailability of small currency denominations. Now, what were the various objectives behind demonetization in India? According to the government, the objectives behind demonetization policy were to make an attempt to make India corruption free. It was done to curb black money. Also to control escalating price rise. To stop funds flow to illegal activity. To make people accountable for every rupee they possess and pay income tax return. And it was an attempt to make a cashless society and create a digital India. So students, this was the third chapter from Business Studies Part 1. Thank you.